This is the dilation instructional video. By this point, you should have completed the notes for both the translation and reflection pages of your transformation book. You should have also completed the 4 problems for both the translations and the reflections. Make sure you are on the 3rd page of your transformation book and that your graph looks like the one on the screen. We're going to title this page Dilations. Dilation, it means to shrink or stretch. So we're going to take small shapes and make them larger, and we're going to take big shapes and make them smaller. And this is typically done by the scale factor, meaning the problem will say dilate the shape by a scale factor of, and then a number. The scale factor is the number you multiply by, and I'll explain that here later in the video. But the scale factor can be 2 types of numbers. You can do a whole number, which means it's going to stretch the shape, meaning it's going to get larger, or it can be a fraction, meaning the shape is going to shrink or get smaller. Dilations are different than translations and reflections because they are not congruent. Dilations are what we call similar, meaning it's the same shape, but it's different sizes. So we're going to start out with the triangle ABC, and we are going to write down the original points just as we have done with the other 2 videos so far. Point A is located at 2, 3. Point B is at 4, 7. And point C is at 5, 3. For this problem, we're going to dilate the shape by a scale factor of 3. So this is where it comes in, where we are going to multiply our points. So I'm going to start with point A, and I get 2, 3 is my original point, and I'm going to multiply that by 3, meaning A prime is going to be at 6, 9. 2 times 3 is going to give me 6, 3 times 3 is going to give me 9. B prime, or excuse me, the original B shape is at 4, 7, and so again I'm going to multiply it by 3, and so B prime is going to be 12, 21. 4 times 3 is 12, 7 times 3 is 21. C is at 5, 3. We multiply by 3, and so C prime is going to give me 15, 9. 5 times 3 is 15, 3 times 3 is 9. Once you have the new points, then we can go ahead and graph it. I'm going to go over 6 and up 9, and I'm going to put my point, and I'm going to label it A prime. B prime is at 12, 21, so I can go ahead and go over to 12 and up to 21. It's going to be right on the edge of the graph. It might go off your graph just a little bit. That's fine. Just label it the best you can. And then C prime, which is 15, 9, so I'm going to go over to 15 and up to 9. And then we're going to connect our dots. And it is the same triangle, but we've only made it larger. Make sure that you have your prime points written out clearly so that way we can read them and graph them as shown. Problem number 2 is the shape at the bottom labeled D, E, F, and G. Again, first step is to write down the original points. D is at -8, -12. E is at 8, -12. F is at -12, -20. And G is at 12, 20. We are going to dilate this shape by a scale factor of 1/4. So this is where we are going to multiply our points. So point D is originally at -8, -12. And so we're going to multiply by 1/4. Yes, you can use a calculator. And so D prime, -8 times 1/4 is going to give me a -2. Negative 8 times 1/4 is going to give me a negative 3. For letter E, we have the point 8, negative 12. I'm going to multiply by 1/4. And so E prime is going to be 8 times 1/4 is 2. Negative 12 times 1/4 is negative 3. F is at negative 12, negative 20. I'm going to multiply by 1/4, which is my scale factor. Negative 12 times 1/4 gives me a negative 3. Negative 20 times 1/4 is going to give me a negative 5. The last point is G. G is a positive 12 and a negative 20. And so G prime, we're multiplying by 1/4. 12 times 1/4 is 3. Negative 20 times 1/4 is a negative 5. Once we have our new prime points, we can go ahead and graph them. D is at negative 2, negative 3. And I'm going to go ahead and label that D prime. E prime is at positive 2, negative 3. F prime is at negative 3, negative 5. That's F prime. And G prime is at positive 3, negative 5. Again, once we have finished, we can connect the dots. And it should still be the same shape, only smaller. Again, make sure that you have labeled your new prime points clearly, as that is one part that you will be graded on. Now that we have finished the dilation notes, I want you to answer the 4 dilation problems in the transformation packet. This will be a classwork grade. Once you have finished the 4 problems, turn the page in your transformation book and find the rotation instructional video on my YouTube channel.